from this perch, high above the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, I've come to you a number of times before over the last year as we've turned the idea of NYSE TV live into a reality. You saw some of that today. You saw Chris McEntee talking about e-notes, Anna Mello give the history of the New York Stock Exchange, Maital Lagoon talking about our ETF business. These were our ways in which ICE, this extraordinary company now founded 24 years ago, can come to you in much greater substance than it ever was before. And while the idea is now flourishing with our team, including Allison Chavez, Pete Ash, Ian Wolfe, Jeff Cohen, Steve Romanchik, and so many others, bringing you the inside, constantly unfolding story of capitalism, playing out on the floor below me now 3 times or more a week. Well, folks, this is my last word. At the end of this month, I'll be leaving ICE and the New York Stock Exchange for an exciting new opportunity beginning in August, details of which I'll be sharing later. It's been a hell of a ride. I got my start in storytelling over 30 years ago, working in the White House under President Bill Clinton. The president was really the lead actor in daily drama about leadership, governance, domestic and international affairs, social and popular culture in America, and yeah, a little politics. Ian Wolfe, recently retired as a commander in the United States Navy Reserve, was actually a member of the military-run White House Communications Agency back then, and Ian and I worked on a lot of the same events. The president, the lead actor, was regularly surrounded by a set of supporting actors, members of Congress, visiting heads of state and government, pioneers of science and technology, icons of sports and entertainment, and so many others. Where those dramas played out, in the Oval Office, in the East Room, the Rose Garden, the South Lawn, around the country and around the world, were the stage set on which we helped the never-ending story of establishing a more perfect union play out. I honestly never thought I'd have the opportunity to tell such important stories again in such an important historic setting until I got to ICE and the New York Stock Exchange in 2018. Here, the CEOs are the lead actors. Their management team, boards of directors, investors, and customers are the supporting actors. And just like at the White House, here we have the Bell Podium, the floor, the trading posts, the boardroom, Experience Square, and every inch of this magnificent place, opened in 1903, and this institution, founded 232 years ago on May 17, 1792. You heard Anna talking about that earlier. In many ways, the world of finance has proven every bit, to me at least, as compelling as the world of politics, and this place has proven to be the perfect backdrop to tell those stories. To be able to do it again, this time celebrating capitalism, entrepreneurism, wound up in a wrapper of innovation and patriotism, has been the honor of a lifetime, and I am eternally grateful for that opportunity. You know, my colleague Judy Shaw and I used to wink at each other from time to time, knowing that this place could be the perfect platform for bringing viewers inside the process of capital formation. Someday, we kept saying to ourselves, we could make that a reality, even if, as we all know, we have a long way to go. Yeah, my friends at CNBC behind me and other outlets do a pretty good job at some of that, and I know they're going to keep it up too. But they have a lot of other topics they need to cover. But with NYSE TV Live and other content platforms our team has created, we stick to what's going on here, focusing on the forces and events and drivers that create jobs, bring new products to market, usher in medical miracles, establish nest eggs for mom and pop investors, send kids to college, and as my old colleague, the former president of the New York Stock Exchange, Stacey Cunningham, would always say, help companies raise capital so that they can, in turn, change the world. Jeff, Judy, Pete, Ian, Steve, Allison, Trinity, and so many others have done that, and they keep doing it. I look at the feed on YouTube, and it lists 102 separate shows over just the last year or so, starting with that pickleball match staged in the boardroom on May 25th, 2022. That's going to go down for us as a sort of pilot of sorts of what we could do here, the interesting stories that we could tell. The lineage goes back even further to when folks like Pete and Ryan Green and Ron Bollert and Eric Crasculo would stand in front of one of Ian's cameras and help explain to viewers who couldn't be here in person what exactly was going on when yet another unicorn company took its steps in the spotlight of an initial public offering. Today, we stand on the shoulders of those storytelling stock exchange pioneers. I'm going to miss the visits from champion sports teams and stars, the Christmas tree lightings, the visits by members of our armed forces and veterans, some of the big consumer names that we've covered like Ralph Lauren, Ibotta, Jeep, Chipotle, Birkenstock, Macy's, Levi's, Lanvin, Amer Sports. Beloved TV shows and movies like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Back to the Future. The visits by the Speaker of the House, the First Lady of the United States, and even The Rock, among so many others. The truly great thing is, the story never ends. As sure as you set your clock, tomorrow at the New York Stock Exchange always brings another story of men and women coming up with new ideas and finding the backing and resources here on the floor behind me to make their dreams a reality. When we get to 2026, America will have been retelling that story every day for 250 years. And when we reach that milestone, we'll be doing it, God willing, for another 250 years and more beyond that. As much as I'll always be a casualty of FOMO, I may not be here to witness all of the goings-on, but as long as there's an NYSE TV Live, I can always watch it from the comfort of the screen in my hand. I look forward to doing that. I'm Josh King, and for the last time, that's the last word.